Irma's winds are the strongest in the Atlantic since Wilma back in 2005. A hurricane warning has now been issued for Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
We're going to talk all about Hurricane Irma right now because, again, yeah, that is now a Category 5 hurricane. Very, very serious. This is life-threatening, and we're really not positive as to exactly where this will make landfall, but I'm going to track it out. We've been keeping a close eye on many models. Winds right now with this hurricane are close to 200 miles per hour. Take a look. They're at 180 miles per hour right now. Gust at 220 miles per hour. This is still off in the Atlantic, but as we track it out here, I do want to show you on radar a look at where this is moving into at the moment. And then it'll move up just past Guadalupe, over the Dominican Republic, over the Turks and Caicos Islands, and then tracks in, could be on the edge of the Bahamas or could stay down more toward Cuba. If this storm stays down more toward Cuba, that means it is less likely that it will be an issue for areas like Miami and parts of Florida if it stays down this way. But this is our big cone here, so really the track could go anywhere in this vicinity, and that's one thing that we're going to be watching very closely. So yes, this could be a major issue for Florida, even areas like Alabama, Louisiana, and then as it tracks up into our area, we are likely to deal with the effects of this on Monday and Tuesday. But I want you to take a look at these models because, you know, a few of the models have it tracking back out to sea. It does not look likely that that's what's going to happen. It is more so going to come through Turks and Caicos, up toward Cuba, and then curve up toward Florida. Every storm like this, as it has a track like this, has to make a swift turn. As it does that, if it turns toward Florida, much of what's out there right now is going to move inward toward Florida on land and even swing up toward Alabama and Mississippi, causing problems for them as well. Take a look as that happens because, again, our days for this are Monday and Tuesday here in the Carolinas. Here's a look at some wind speeds. This is based on the GFS model, and you'll notice wind speeds in areas like Miami and even over here further in Florida could be well above 100 miles per hour. Fort Myers looking at wind speeds in the 60 mile per hour range. These winds are absolutely no joke. They're dangerous, and winds at this speed can just flatten things. It is very, very, very dangerous with this category of a hurricane. Take a look at Tampa. By Monday, expected to have winds in the 50 mile per hour range. Daytona Beach looking like 80 miles per hour. But as this continues to track out, those heavy winds will move up into Georgia by Monday evening. Savannah looking at wind speeds around 77 miles per hour. For us here in the Carolinas, by the time it reaches us, we're going to deal with wind speeds in the 20 to 40 mile per hour range. And I do want to show you that here in the Triad, it's looking like by Wednesday we'll have wind speeds around 22 miles per hour. So that's a look at the GFS model. Here's a look at the European model. These numbers are going to track out a little differently. However, they agree in some spots, not so much in others. Take a look. These have Florida winds much, much lower. But I would anticipate for the worst. Prepare yourself, especially here in the Carolinas. Even though winds are set to be 20 to 40 miles per hour, you just want to be ready for something like that, especially if you have property on the coast or anything like that, family in Florida. That's what you want to be prepared for. By Tuesday, this model has Savannah getting 70 mile per hour winds, and then us in the Triad by Wednesday, wind speeds at 25 miles per hour. So we're going to keep a close eye on these wind speeds. Van Denton had this last night, and we'll continue to have it throughout the evening. But this is what a Cat 4 hurricane can do. Winds will be between 130 and 155 miles per hour. That's what we were dealing with before this became a Category 5. So with a Category 4, you have extreme winds and catastrophic damage. But with a Category 5, you up those wind speeds to anything from 157 miles per hour upward. And right now, you'll remember, this hurricane in particular has wind speeds at 180 miles per hour and gusts at 220 miles per hour. It still has to get toward land, and winds will not quite be that speed when we get there. But again, you saw the models. We could have severe wind speeds out of Florida as this happens. But the worst case for us here in the Triad next Monday or Tuesday, 30 to 40 mile per hour winds, some of us in the 20s, but again, 40 is likely the highest amount of wind speed that we'll see. Flooding rains could be an issue, anywhere from 5 to 10 inches of rain, and there will be the possibility of a tornado threat. We're going to be talking about Irma all day long, and I have your local forecast coming up in minutes.